Hey y'all, what's up? It's Champagne and V, ready to rock out every Thursday night on Pharcyde TV. We are so looking forward to being part of the fam. Shout out to Pharcyde TV for hosting Champagne and Conversations. You guys got to check it out. Welcome, Ras Kass, to Champagne and Conversations. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me, Valencia.
Yeah. Oh, you said my whole name. Okay.
Oh,
Thank
Bill,
you.
I don't know. V. I'm sorry, V. Champagne V. My bad.
You are good. Listen, you're part of the cool kids. It's okay. I noticed that you are on the cusp of being a Virgo. You missed it by a couple of days, but we'll give you that. We'll give you the
Mm-hmm.
honorary mention. So you can be a cool
Okay.
kid for that. No problem. Valencia is
Awesome.
good.
Awesome.
Yes, welcome. Cheers to
Appreciate it.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have
Cheers.
Ras Kass with us, the legend, LA's lyricist, the finest. It has been amazing preparing for this conversation, so we hope that you enjoy what we have to share. Raz, congratulations on your latest project. We did feature it on the Champagne and V page, and
Nice.
that is with our fam, Master Ace, which we really, really love our Master Ace. So that's a cool thing to do. I clipped it because I noticed that you mentioned the Super Bowl in the lyrics or your bars. And I
Uh-huh.
thought, how crazy is that? Because Super Bowl is coming up, right? So,
Yeah,
Super,
coming
so
to LA.
it's coming up, absolutely. So, I wanted to find out from you, how is it? What do you think about it? Because Dr. Dre and Eminem will
Right.
be doing the halftime show. Don't know if you looked at this as a correlation or not, but again, I just posted the fact that you were speaking of the Super Bowl. So I just wanted to dive in a little bit about how you and Eminem connected.
Oh, uh, during that area, that time period, the I'd say like in the mid to late 90s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people that didn't have record deals, there wasn't social media, there wasn't
Right.
the internet. So you had to do shows and you would come across other people that were talented. So, 50 Cent, we all knew each other, the Commons, but Common was probably already out, but, the Eminems and the 50 Cents and the, Mad Skills, whatever, VA. It was all kind of MCs all over the place. So
Yeah.
you might get booked and looked up and have a show, and then you would meet these people that were
Right.
dope too, at the radio or at the show, or, so I'd known him in advance. I already knew Eminem and Royce 5'9" from and Proof and all of them. I knew them from having to do it, do shows in Detroit, and and then already putting out music. It was local, but it was dope. So by the time Dre ever even heard of Eminem, I already knew him. We all were social. We were homeboys. Everybody believed in each other. So it was, I got my opportunity earlier than M did, and Royce and all of them. But
Right.
still super dope. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah. And that was late 90s actually, right? Like
By
90.
then, late 90s.
Yeah.
We probably heard of M around like 96.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, we probably already knew him, and then by the time Dre would hear him around like 99 or something like that. But I already, yeah. The in 98 when Dre brought Eminem out to start recording, it was the end of 98, early 99. He was in town. I had a show because my album released around my birthday, and he was outside.
September, your birthday, yes. I noticed a
Yeah,
lot of your
September.
albums released in September, right?
Yeah, it's just a weird pattern I'm trying to break.
Uh,
It's always kind of weird. I don't
It's
know. Yeah,
okay. It's
we got
the
to switch
Virgo
that up.
babies. It's
But
all
yeah,
right.
it does. Yeah, I know, but I'm working for different results. I want, so I got to try some different dates. But
Okay.
yeah, he was actually there. He came to my release party, and he which is what MCs always do. We're
Right.
like, yo, if you rhyme, if you freestyle, at the end of the show, can I hop on? So yeah, I definitely distinctly remember that as a pleasant memory. It was like, he was like, yo, Dre got me out here. I was like, well, you deserve it. Da, 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 da. He was like, yo, can I, if you freestyle, if you rhyme at the end, can I rhyme? I was like, of course. And sure enough, we had the open set. And I gave him the mic, and Exhibit tried to rough him up. He thought he was like a sound man. He didn't even know. So yeah, now nah, this is my homeboy. He raps. It's him. And then him got on and killed it. So yeah, it's always I'm just a firm believer that who am I? I feel like the world would be a better place if we did this. Is people are too reactive about who's popular instead of looking at what people's skill set are. And so,
Okay.
I always say I can't take from you. I can't take from you what God or the universe or your parents gave you. Like the skill set, let me celebrate it with you, whether or not
Sure.
you superstar or not. I'm going to show you the love because I respect what you do, not because somebody made you famous for it. If you're good at what you do, I want to celebrate that and show you your respect. So I've always tried to do that with any artist that I come across, because it was shown to me when I was up and coming, and when I didn't have a studio or nothing, and I just me and my friends just trying to say stupid raps. It took somebody treating me with some dignity and some respect for me to get a chance. And a lot of times we don't give people a chance because they're not on already. And it's kind of backwards. How can you get on if nobody gives you a chance to get on? If you understand what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, one, let me back up and say that's the reason why we have you here. Champagne and Conversations wanted to give you your roses for being the MC
Thank
that you
you.
have been, decade after decade. The projects that you have put out, I spent quite a good amount of time listening to, and anyone knows that I love music, that I really went into your catalog. So I think that is an extremely dope
Thank you.
projects that you've had, giving you your roses, for all that you have done for
Thank
the
you.
culture. And pardon the pun, because that is one of the titles of your new project, right? Relating to the
Right.
culture.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
so,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so we do appreciate all that you've done. And I mean, I am so fascinated at the fact that I am a hip hop head. And of course, you have taken the art into a whole nother way, with most people thinking that the West Coast has a West Coast sound. It's kind of hard, gritty, that kind of thing. But you fused it with a lot of the bars from like what we would consider the East Coast. So
Right.
it's like, it was that dope mixture that if you like East Coast, you'll like this. If you like West Coast, you'll like this. You'll still like the same. track, right? Because you had a little
Mm-hmm.
mixture of both there. So, going back just a moment so that we don't forget the producer, Dr. Dre, and your second album, which was
Mm-hmm.
Assassination. I'm sorry. Let me
Mm-hmm.
make certain I put that extra syllable in there. And so how was it working with Dr. Dre?
Oh man, it every time has always been a blessing. He's a brilliant dude.
Right.
I was just talking to David Banner literally like before we got on the phone, and
Oh, was that David
I
holding
was
us
saying the
up?
same. No, it wasn't that. We were talking about doing some other
It's
stuff,
okay. But
but
that explains it. That's okay. He gets
no,
a
I know.
pass.
I just didn't know. I honestly, it's my fault because I was thinking Pacific Standard
It is
Time
cool.
because
We
I'm here in
got you
LA.
here.
And, so I messed up. But no, I was just saying, like, he's not only a producer, he's an executive producer. And that's something I'm kind of stepping into myself. But Dr. Dre has been an executive producer for a long time. He's more like a Quincy
Sure.
Jones, where he
Sure.
can see the whole vision of the whole record. And so
Right.
that's one of the biggest things I picked up from watching him working, with him. I always say that I watch people. He had, I don't know if I don't know if he still says this, but he would say, throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it sticks. So that was never a bad idea conceptually. It could be a bad idea when you do it and execute it, but he was always willing to kind of give everything a shot. And I kind of respect that because it's not about your ego. It really should be about how we make the record the best it can be with the resources we have, with the
No
talent, the
doubt.
singer, the rapper, the tap dancer. And I would watch him just, always want the best for the record, which is very commendable. A lot of people are some people are really like, they're trying to be business people. So they want all the publishing. So they want to try to do everything themselves, or they take credit for things they didn't do because they want to own the record. A lot of that happens in this business where they steal from people, steal their talent. They just, they try to take credit for things they didn't. I think with Dre is, watching him, I watched him like the cleaning lady. She said, she's like, I think I can do it. And he's like, well, all right, give it a shot. That's some real shit. Like, I don't know if I would have said that. I'd be like, lady, the cleaning lady, and what are you even doing listening to it? Like, you could have, there was a lot of ways that could have went wrong, but I really do. I remember, us scratching our head for whatever particular song and, all these great minds, but we couldn't figure it out. And, and then, she spoke on it while she was cleaning up. It was probably, 3 a.m. She's cleaning up. We probably shouldn't, it's just it was a late night and he gave her a shot. And I respect that. And I learned from that, everybody, because what if she would have killed it and she was Mariah Carey and she killed that shit? Then he would have gave her that chance to
Right.
fucking change her life. Unfortunately, she was not Mariah Carey, and it wasn't good. But
He tried.
at least he gave her a shot.
Yes.
He gave her a shot, and that's one that a lot of people would do based on status. A lot of people would have said, "Well, what's your status? You're not with us. Why are you talking? You only do that." So it was really,
Right.
I respected that he really walked it and talked it. He gave that lady a shot. And I try to do that as I create, try to throw it against the wall. If it sticks, it sticks. If it don't, it don't. At least we tried, and at least we know it doesn't work. But let's do what's best for the record. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's what I
that's
learned.
dope. That's dope. And look, hopefully we hear Ghetto Fabulous potentially in the NFT world with you or on the
Yeah.
I think it's a game now that Dr. Dre just came out with, Grand Theft Auto 2, I think it is.
Yeah.
Um,
GTA. It's like a part of the pack. Actually, shouts out to Slink Johnson. He's one of the main characters. He's always in the GTA games. It's his birthday coming up.
okay.
He's got a party out here. So yeah, it shouts out. Yeah. I don't think I made it on to the game yet, but my goal is I want a voiceover on there anyway. I want to do some talking.
We're gonna speak that now.
I want to be a character.
There you go.
Yeah,
there
I'm speaking it out.
Well, you heard it first on Champagne and Conversations. The next we'll see Ras Kass as a character, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So now with the vast amount of projects that you've had, this may be a stretch because I always seem as if it's like putting the kids against one another. But what would be your favorite project?
I don't have one. I don't. Like you said,
No, it's
they're all
hard.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all for me, literally at its best, when I'm doing my best work, each song is a time capsule of my feelings at that particular time.
Okay.
It doesn't always happen like that way. Sometimes I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm just writing, popping some shit, whatever. It's a cool beat. So not everything has like super deep meaning, but especially at least with an overall album, there's a theme and there's a feeling, and so they're like time capsules of how I was feeling at that time. And so for me, it's more for me to go back, because I don't listen to me a lot. Some artists do; they just like to listen to themselves a lot. I don't. It's kind of cringy for me. But when I go back and do listen to myself, it's surreal because I'm like, oh shit, I really was upset, or I was really hurt, or I was really confused, or oh yeah, I could tell I was mad at so and so because I line this about blah blah blah, or yeah, I was because mom's a wooty wham, or my cousin did this, or there's inside jokes.
Oh, is that serious? Okay.
Yeah. So I write like that, like it's personal, like it's shit that only certain dudes or certain people, we was out somewhere, some shit happened, and I'm talking about this thing that only like 20 of us know. Or sometimes it's some neighborhood shit, sometimes it's strictly like some Creole shit. Maybe it might be some slang shit that only certain niggas in this hood in Brooklyn know. So I'm just sharing this one bar, like, you know what I'm saying? I see y'all. Right. This that line about this thing, So for me, it's these time capsules that I get to look back and reflect, and also for my grandchildren or great grandchildren, whenever I have those things, for them to get to know me. I used to tell that to my twin boys, my sons, or I'd be like, look, bro, if you want to understand what makes me tick, nigga, you can buy the first album, and as a matter of fact, I'll buy them for you, and you can just listen. And you'll know what I think, why I do what I do, who I am, because I'm usually just explaining myself, and then I don't. There's some songs that resonate more to me at certain times or whatever, but there's no song or album that I like more than anything else. I'm just enjoying the journey. It's my life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm just documenting my journey.
Yeah, that's dope. I will say that I did have a favorite, and it is Van Gogh. It was a lot of vibe there. I mean, I had favorite songs throughout your projects, but that was kind of one that I felt myself like bopping to the entire project. So yeah, and one thing we'll talk about offline, but otherwise, that was my favorite. But now I want to ask you, because you did the fusion, or the crossover, I'm not certain what the term would be, that you use, but what was the kind of ideology, the influence of that? Because you used bars from like, previous tracks, previous songs that you would mix with like upbeat tracks, that kind of thing, so that we would hear about Lil Kim, we would hear, something from Slick Rick, it was so many different things that you sample. Were those your like musical influences growing up that you were?
Yeah, every time I utilize, hooks or a line or scratches, yeah, those are just, recognizing the greats and people that influenced me, that resonated with me, or, somebody might say something that's just like, it just resonates. Like, oh, that's how I feel,
Yeah.
And so I wanted, Not that they need my shine, but I like to, I am the I'm the total sum of all my experiences. So
Nice.
in my
I
music,
like
I'm
that.
explaining that, yeah. So
I like that.
yeah,
And
and
who
so
were
yeah,
your
I like to.
influences growing up?
I mean, everybody. I mean, I'm a late bloomer actually to rap. As far as like listening, I heard it was around, but I wasn't listening. Um, I when I do that, I alienate so many people.
I didn't give
So
you the top five. I didn't say that. You can
I
say
mean,
name
my
as many as you
favorite
want.
my favorite rapper is KRS One.
Okay.
But then as far as like how many people I listen to and who I like and who I think is dope, and that goes into I can easily rattle off 50 of those people.
Absolutely.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's just there's so much variety, especially in the golden era. There was so much variety and so many. The depth of the talent
Right.
was amazing. I say this and I'll stand by it today. I think the bar has been set so low that a lot of what people call great today would have been highly average in 1996 or 7. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And do you think that's from the quality or the uniqueness? Like they're, kind
it's
of their
both.
lane.
I think it's
Okay.
both. We celebrated individuality and you couldn't get on being
Absolutely.
like somebody else. And now they
That's right.
celebrate literally sounding the same. Like there's a
Absolutely.
certain sound period, there's a production style, there's a type of delivery that is sold as this is what's cool, this is what's good. And unfortunately, it's only done to rap music. They don't do that to country western. They have so many versions of rock. There's classic rock, there's hair metal, there's speed metal. There's this, for us, we allow corporate America to define us when we used to define what was cool, and now we're letting old white men tell us what's cool, and niggas is repeating it, and that's kind of unfortunate. I always find that pretty sad, but hopefully we can break that stigma.
Yeah, we're definitely breaking it because the one thing that I think is great is that you all, and I don't know if you like the word OG or you just like the season or the vets in the game, but you're bringing back or bringing out new music with that sound that
Well,
gives
we never
people.
went anywhere. I
Okay,
mean, see,
don't
we
get
never
me.
went anywhere. So like the bringing out. I'm not. For me, I don't use the term OG because I'm from LA, and that implies being on some
Okay.
gangster.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'm not a. So and then half the time when a young dude's calling you OG, he was just trying to call you an old dude. So
Yeah, right.
I don't really ascribe to that.
Yeah,
For me personally, I'm definitely I'm a vet. I've done this, but I feel I feel like we all should be growing. So I'm just what I am now. So I'm as new as I am today. And for me, and to the person that never heard me, I'm just today. I'm current.
okay.
Um, I'm
I'm still real relevant. I like that.
my mama loves me, so yeah, definitely.
That's it.
I think a lot of a lot of our definitions and our philosophies in music got passed down from executives and these old, no disrespect, but they're just these old white men that don't even like the culture or the music, and then they make these terms hot, relevant. What would be marketable, and when did it's letting the fox tell the chickens where to play. It's just not smart, and we didn't do that. Well, we didn't do it initially, and we invented rock and roll, we invented jazz, and every time we've done that, we've surrendered our culture, and then it gets stolen, and they remix it. So then we invented rock and roll, and then they stole it, and next thing you know, when by the time I'm a kid and I see some rock and roll, it's a dude biting the head off a bat. I don't want no parts of it, and then they saying, Elvis invented it, and then jazz, they showing movies, you know, the movie, you know, Kenny G invented jazz. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we got to stop doing that. Stop parroting. No, they had the movie La La Land, and like they invented jazz and dance. Like, and we got to stop. We do not benefit in any way repeating stupid things that people that don't love us tell us about our culture. And like so I refuse to play by these rules. Nobody's telling Liza Minnelli or Cher that she ain't relevant and she can't do an album. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We only do it to ourselves, and we parrot this ignorance, and we never even ask why don't they do it to theirs? Why are they telling us that's how we got to do ours? Like, we got to stop with that. You know, part of my music is documenting that fight. You know, that's part of why I make what I make. I never went anywhere. You know, I may not get on MTV. Does that mean I'm not as good as so-and-so? I may not get to do the Super Bowl, but does that mean I'm not as good as so-and-so? No, it's not true. So it's time to fight a different fight and stop evaluating yourself through.
You there?
To the homies who are getting a great opportunity, but for the other people that don't, not everybody's going to get to do the NFL. That doesn't make them no less than the people that do get to do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My skill set is still a skill set that we talk. You know, I tried to, I had to talk to some young MCs fairly recently, and what I tried to tell them was like, bro, this is called rap. It's not called who can sing the most, because that's called singing. It's not called who got the hot girlfriend on Instagram. It's not called how many chains you wear. It's not called who you shot. It's called rap. So don't tell me about who's more popular. It's not called popular. It's called rap. So can you rap good? So all the rest of these factors that we start factoring in, talking, people do their list of who's the best. You're not even talking about rapping. You talking about other stuff. Right. So it's corny. We got to stop letting people dictate our culture, and because then it misleads the young boys and the young girls about what the skill set is. They respect painting when it's whatever, when it's rock and roll. You can't be the rocker dude and then you can't shred on the guitar. You got a big guitar, but you can't shred. You out of here. You know what I'm saying? We, with our culture, we got to start demanding some accountability in the craft. I think, and that's not old man talk. That's just whatever it is. I gave this analogy to the homies. I was like, look, bro, if we went to the NBA, to the basketball game, and LeBron get out there and he can't dribble the ball, he's falling on the ground. But then a little Mexican nigga hop out of his shoe and get to dunking and doing all the stuff. Who you want? You want the little Mexican homie shoe. You don't want the LeBron, because he can play basketball. So this ain't about who's popular, it's about the skill set. Boxing, I can talk all the trash I want, but if I think it's back to the skill set. I can talk all I want about, being the best boxer, but when I get in there with Floyd Mayweather, you're going to see when I'm gassed out in 2 minutes and whatever. And that's everybody. You got to respect the skill set. And this is called rap. It's not called the other things. It's not called who had Versace glasses on or who bought a Bentley. That should be called something else. It should be called who got a Bentley, or that should be called who's dating the hot girl. Yeah. Who's most fashionable, rap. So we just gotta get right within our own culture, and I like to. I'm glad for my part, I'm documenting my journey. I love hip hop reinvigorated all the other genres of music. And I'm sorry, somebody's calling. I gotta wait till they hang up.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just joining us, it's Ras Kass, and we are talking deep hip hop at this moment. He's really getting into the journey and talking about the talent And we are here on Champagne and Conversations for more of the projects that Raz has in the works, of course. He says he's never gone anywhere, so I'm not going to say he's back. He's here
Yeah,
and he's live and living colors. So
yeah,
keep
man.
going. Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. Is
Yeah.
no, that's the gist of it. It's just we we shouldn't we have. I just feel the need to fight for the culture. This culture
For
I was
sure.
saying
Yeah.
invigorated and gave life to rock, to R&B. It is the biggest forming the biggest selling genre of music in the world, and has
Right.
consistently been so. Um, and we just got to stop turning our back on it. Again, we lost rock and roll and jazz the same way, and country western. We made that music, and now they'll put a Confederate sign up and tell you you're not wanted at that thing. It's like this could easily happen with rap, and when we treat it, with such disdain, and tell our vets and the people that, like to, a lot of us, we gotta stop disrespecting the people that made a foundation for us. So, a lot of, the younger cats always admonish them to, like, whatever you like, don't you want to investigate it and understand how it became what it was? If you like car racing, you do the research. If you like fashion, you look at who was the dope fashion people before you came onto the fashion scene. Rap is the one where people are now encouraged to say, I don't care about nobody in the past. It's just me right now today. And that's stupid. It's just a bad way to look at stuff. It's like you waking up in the morning and telling your parents and your grandparents, fuck you, I don't care.
Right.
That's whack.
Right.
Like, fuck you. Yeah, I'm on now. I'm on fuck my grandmother. Fuck my grand. Like all they struggling on me shit, my G. For you to get here, like, that's crazy. Right. Sounds dumb. So they gave us all these jobs, all this fashion, all these execs, all this business, billions of dollars revenue, and to some degree went to the people that created it, gave us a foundation. Like, don't talk shit about them. Tell somebody they old or they ain't relevant. That's whack.
You got to respect it. Absolutely. All. And that's basically what you're saying, is that the music is still alive, and it has been alive for many, 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 many decades, obviously centuries and such. And so what we have actually used and laid it as the foundation, or looked at it as the foundation and used it to create our own art and our own culture, we need to respect it. And in that regard, that's what your messaging is. Like, listen, don't turn the other way and, just like you said, kind of shit on it. Like, you got to be able to say, we understand where it came from, and we're going to continue that legacy. So, sure.
And to add to what you're saying is, maybe I was thinking about this. Again, we keep being defined by people that don't want to understand us and probably have a different agenda. So, a jazz, there's all kinds of jazz. You know what I'm saying? There's bebop, and you understand what I'm saying? There's big band, there's all this stuff. So I have decided I am declaring my genre of hip hop. Mine is 1990s to now. It's called contempt pop. So I do contempt pop. I've always done contempt pop.
So we got to use that hashtag.
Adult contemporary hip hop. I think the Rick Rosses and certain people do Kemp hop. Yeah, it's just adult contemporary hip hop. Like, it's still the 90s sound. I think Jay-Z does, Nas does contempt pop. Some of the newer stuff is a little more sing mode and a little, with the trap beats. And it could be its own genre. It's still under the umbrella, but this is kind of closer to the purest form. And I don't think we should be, let things evolve. We can't change, house music turned into to so many different things. You know what I'm saying? It turned to EDM. It turned into, the stepping music, whatever. Yeah. So let it be what it is. Trap music can be what it is, but we should have our genres within this rap thing. It's evolved, So for me, I'm doing contempt pop. I do adult contemporary hip hop. And even when I was younger, that's what I was doing. That 90s. That 90s, my sound is still it still evolves. It's not gonna sound exactly like it did in 1996 or 2000, but it's that zone. I'm in that zone. Grown and
That's
sexy hip hop. You know what I'm saying? I don't do a whole
hey,
bunch of
that's what we're
dances
about. Hey.
and yeah,
Yes. And you do have
yeah.
a few
That's what I
songs
call it.
like that.
It's grown and sexy hip hop.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
that's it. Hot Game is one of those. Well, in the Van Gogh project, because
In
you
the
know
past,
that's the
yeah,
one I
yeah.
really like. Yeah, Hot Game is that.
Oh, great.
But talk to us about your relationship with Jay-Z, because you all have a very early relationship as well, right?
Oh yeah, well yeah. I haven't seen Jay in quite a while now. He is out there being a billionaire, but nah. Party Records. Jay was my label mate, so his first album, Reasonable Doubt, was a Party Records album, and so yeah, and then Jay left Party, and then I was brought in around 90. I stayed with Jay around like early 98. So I just stayed. The idea was for me to become Rockefeller kind of West. So, young upstart. I stayed there for that summer. So like 2-3 months. And yeah, man, I just got to observe, his execution. He's always been a stand-up dude with me. You know what I'm saying? Every time I see him, it's been a couple of years, but just a cool dude. We all worked in a studio called Henchman Studios, which is was owned by Jimmy Henchman and his brother Mario. So Uncle Mario. So shouts out to Jimmy and Uncle Mario. His nephew was in our age bracket. So his nephew is still like, we're really close. And then one of the groups that rapped that Jay had signed, they were called The Rangers. So Dark Half and Wise P. So that song, If I Die, Don't Cry, my nigga, get high, my nigga, say word to Wise, my nigga, that's Wise. So, I ended up coming out with a couple of really good friends, from that. Shit, it's crazy because that was 20 something years ago now. But yeah, man, I ended
Yeah.
up with some brothers that ended up being some of my best friends. I just always had a very interesting. It was always interesting watching Jay because again, there's all these, I would say, grades. Jay's older than me, so the Ice Cubes and all them, they're in a different grade than me. They had already had records out and had done this and done that. Snoop, they're from a different grade to me. Tupac and Biggie, they're from a different grade. My grade probably would have included, the people like Exhibit, even Corrupt he's from a different grade than us, him and Dance. Mine is more like Kweli, Most Def. Pharoah Monch is kind of in our grade, but not really. Him and Common and even Andre and them, they had already come out 1 or 2, 3 years before us. They had some kind of an album or something. They had already been in this experience, twisting them. But it was great to be able to watch, from an early point how he moved. Jay was a very Jay's, and I can't just give it to him. What they did, what Rockefeller, all three of them, Dame Dash, and I forgot the other brother's name, but they just executed brilliant, and a lot of, they've been often imitated, rarely duplicated. Like they pulled off, how to become, how to get to the B, what I'm saying? Let alone a couple million, they got to the billions, and to the billion. And everybody's not going to be able to pull it off, but just to be able to kind of watch it is very interesting. Like, also just watching, with Eminem, it's just like, oh shit, like, okay, it can happen. I watch people go from, that dream and, recognizing greatness in each other, but just watching like, yo, they're executing this shit, flawlessly. And, Jay's is definitely different than Eminem's. Everybody's journey, every artist's journey is going to be different. That's why you can't use somebody else's blueprint to try to be successful. You
Pardon
can
the pun,
implement
right?
some of the things that may work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Pun was not intended. But yeah, like, you know, even with Jay, like, I remember we had the company Party Records had a wrapped van, like an 18 van. It was just it wasn't a minivan, it was a van, like a pedophile looking van. And it was wrapped and it said Party Records. And basically they would, it did look like a pedophile, you know, in retrospect. I mean, because it was, you know, it was just for them to move merch and stuff and vinyl and go set up, and, you know, it had speakers or whatever and they could play and promote, but
Right.
It wasn't like luxury hot. It was a van. It was utility purposes thing, and it was wrapped with the Party Records thing. And it might, you know, it may have whatever artist, you know, was coming out that week or that month, and have whoever, Ice Cube,
Yeah.
you know, all over it, and Snoop Dogg all over it next week and whatever.
Yeah.
But this one time there was a award show or something, and I just remember that they went to pick up Jay-Z, and he was like, I can't get in that. I'm not getting into that. And they're like, yeah, this is the promo, you know, this is, and he was trying to explain to them
not getting
that
promo van.
yeah, well, he understood his vision and his marketing, and what he told him was, my brand is, I'm Jay-Z, I'm fly, I'm the hustler. I'm not getting out of that van that destroys the Jay-Z fly, you know, image. And they didn't get it. And this is early on, you know, and they, you know, basically, I remember you know, the exec, because he said it to me afterwards. Like, I happened to be in the office, like, yeah, Jay-Z thinks it's too good to get in a promo van, you know, and I'm younger, you know, so for me, I mean, and I had my own car or whatever, but I wouldn't care. At that time, I wouldn't have cared, but in retrospect, Jay-Z was totally right. He's saying, this is my brand. This doesn't make sense for me. And they fought him on it, and he ended up renting his own car, you know, getting a luxury car, And
stand for nothing, fall for anything.
It's part of the reason why it never worked. Yeah, and he understood what he was trying to market, and they didn't. And if he would have stayed there, they would have failed. You know, they just didn't have the vision. They didn't understand. You know, they thought one size fits all. Everybody gets in this van. He's like, no. You know, obviously Snoop wasn't going to be in a van. Snoop from LA. He's going to be in his lowrider being Snoop. So he could be his brand. Ice Cube, Big Dog. They wasn't going to pick Ice Cube up in that shit. It was for all the B and C team artists that they felt they could put into the van. And Jay-Z, you know, he understood his worth and he executed. So, you know, I always feel like I was able to be, you know, fly on the wall to a lot of interesting things. You know, I got to see it like firsthand with people. And then my story's not over with yet. We don't know, you know, what happens for me next week, next year. Yeah. So, you know, I'm definitely I'm trying to get my nice bill ticket. Well, I don't want to bill. I mean, I'll take.
Yes, you do. Don't say anything more, because we're getting ready to share in that vibe. So just keep saying it. No, you get ready to get your bill ticket. That means we'll all get our bill ticket.
Bill. I want $5 million liquid. 5 million liquid. That's what I want.
We need it. The bill. We going that way. So just keep going.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna flow on that vibe right now. Speaking of bars, Barmageddon, very interesting project. Has a lot of jazz fusion to it to me. And it's very grown to me. I kind of sat back when it got ready, you know, when I was listening to that. It was later in the evening, but yeah, I like that vibe. What was your take on that? I know, was that your last? Well, that wasn't your last album, but that was the but that one was a little different.
That was a couple of years back. Barmageddon was just artsy. It was a jazz record, I think. Yeah, I think that's just the zone I was in. Yeah, that it literally was, you know, I feel some type of way, and then sometimes, like, I'm find myself picking certain production and writing about certain things, And then I realized that, oh, this is what I'm doing. This is this album. This is this project. Because I could be intent on writing one thing. It's happened recently where I was trying to create one project and I looked up and the music I was making had nothing to do with the thing I wanted to do.
Right.
And because I was writing from here and what was resonating sonically, the song, the music, and how I was feeling were something totally different. I was like, oh, I'm writing that. And I had to like completely just acknowledge where I was at and focus and do what was in my soul. So I think that's a big part of it. Is I was in some melancholy kind of jazz mood with
Yeah, it was
Bummercat.
dope.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Just even from when the intro started, I was like, oh, wait a minute, this is something different. And I had not really listened to the entire, catalog. Obviously,
Hmm.
I knew
Yeah.
Soul on Ice and I knew, Rassassination. Let me not keep forgetting that part of that.
That's
So
okay. No worries.
so I knew several of this, of your earlier albums because I love, of course, the 90s, like you say, golden era of hip hop. But
Hmm.
now I'm like, wait, you got on some, we can put on some grown stuff and listen to this right here. So with
Right.
that being said, I was like, okay, this is like you're definitely kind of flowing with the time or the energy, like you said, a vibe and understanding that I guess your fans are growing up. So because they're growing up and they're getting a little bit more of this and that with their step, that you're going to give them something to step with, pretty much. That's
Yeah.
what it
Yeah.
seems as if. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
it's
like,
not intentional. I guess we just all grown up together, so it just
yeah.
becomes a generational era thing. But the bugged out thing is, the music can resonate with whoever.
Yeah.
And so I find, I, there, especially in Europe and like Australia, man, because like real hip hop, contempt pop is alive and well out
Some
there.
hip hop.
Like there's
I
the
love it.
19, yeah, for real. There's like the 19, 20-year-old girl that's like, I like bars, like I like hip hop,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they'll like my sons are what 23 and like they're playing Tribe Called Quest like that, so it resonates where it resonates, if if because I mean I think about it like to listen to Beethoven and like we weren't born, none of us was born when them cats was popping, so music can always speak to you. If you're open to listen and if it naturally works for you, then roll with it.
Right.
I'm not closed-minded to any form of music. I just know a certain kind of hip hop is my main vibe for me. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is secondary. I'm definitely cool with it. I'm not closed-minded at all. But I know what really, really makes me tick. And so as I'm growing, I guess other people are growing too, growing up and
Right.
and so yeah, because I'm not doing it to pander to anybody or cater to anybody. I'm just doing it because this is in my soul. And so we all grew up around the same
That's the way it makes the
genre.
most.
Yeah. So and I'm hoping that I know there's enough people that are where I'm at sonically, as opposed to, the 40-year-old dude that's. I'm not interested in being, I probably shouldn't knock people, but I'm not the 40-year-old dude trying to do these dances and wear, clothes that don't fit with 17 chains around my neck. That is not what I would have done 10 years ago, 20 years ago, and a damn sure wouldn't do it today. Like, been wearing like really big boots, the Kanye boots. It's not for me. That's not my style. So I'm a different kind of animal, and I got to reflect that in my music. And I'm trying to make music for those people. 90s music was a little like, and it's not even about 90s. It's 90s to now. My music is a little philosophical. I don't do a lot of party records. I do thinking. I make thinking man's music. Or thinking woman's music.
Well,
I deal with.
Barmageddon had a lot of party tracks on it, to
Yeah,
me.
I don't. I mean, I have fun. I
Like
mean, I
Hope
definitely reflect.
Line and Girls. I think it was Girls
Yeah.
to the Hood, Girls in the Hood, Girls something from the Hood.
The shit, I can't remember the title. I have to look at it. But no, I mean, I
Oh,
have
God's in the
fun.
Hood. I'm sorry, God's in the
God's in the
Hood.
hood. But
Yes,
that's
yes, yes.
not a party record.
It had like a up tempo, kind of vibe to
But
it to me.
if God's in the hood is not, doesn't even sound like a party. But it's a good record.
Yes. Well, you have been mentioning God from the beginning, from Soul on Ice, and I loved it.
Right.
In fact, that you were putting that in all of your
Yeah.
music. I think maybe one album I heard it got a little dark, and I was just like, okay, moving on past that. I'm not gonna stay here, but yeah, I mean,
Hey,
it was
man, it is,
definitely that one. And
that's
Get Your
okay.
Money Right. That one was a up tempo
Oh
one.
yeah.
Get Your Money
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I'm always reflecting on my experiences, but which one got dark? What, the Blasphemy record probably scared you?
Absolutely. I was just that whole album, I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. This isn't the same person.
It's the same
I listened
person.
to I think I listened to maybe 4 tracks on that one, and I was like, nah, I'm good. And
Every,
it's funny, that. So yes, we're on the same page.
yeah, that's so funny. Now, things resonate to different people, man. The funniest thing about that record, just to put it out there, is that I knew the title alone was going to freak people out.
Yes.
But that I'm gonna say this: if you only look at the titles, which I got the exact reaction that we wanted to, is that you didn't listen to it. You
I
heard it, but you
did.
didn't listen to
And
it.
it was
No,
like, it
I'm gonna tell
sounded
you
like
why. Because literally,
surgery, and it sounded like something was going on. I was like,
you heard it, but you didn't listen to it. Like, there's a song called "How to Kill God," and so immediately that title, people go freak out, right?
Yeah, I
And
think I had stepped away at that point.
all right, yeah. I mean, it's basically the first song on the project. But that means I made you feel some type of way.
Yeah, maybe
with
feel some
words.
type of way.
So you already were on your defensive. You didn't listen to the song because the song had, first of all, it's not like a how-to. I'm not saying like, this is how you kill God. You shoot in the air and kill the angel. No, I'm not. So with the song, what the song really is about is, I say, excuse me, I'm basically saying we are God's children. We are made in the image and likeness of God. And so when you go hurt somebody, when you are your isms, your sexism, when you go mispay, you underpay women, you rape a woman, you beat somebody, you steal from somebody, your racism, you're killing God's creations. You're killing God. You're hurting God. You go kick a puppy. That's how you kill God. You go pollute and pour shit out and go fuck up the plants for no good reason.
Yeah.
Dig in the oil and fuck the water up and all the fish die. That's killing God, because God made all of us. We're God's creation. So you obviously, which is funny, but I got the response that I know we knew going in that was going to be the response, but that was a test to see if people listened or heard. Most people just hear it, and then you saw titles and it freaked you out, and that's the funniest part. But I would encourage you at a later point to check it out, because literally I say this is how you kill God: Holocaust, crusades, Zionism, jihad. And then there's some. Now
that you've clarified it, yes, because I had literally put it on and just stepped away so I could just hear the lyrics. But you're right, I wasn't like into it because I was just like, oh, this is different, and so I just kind of skipped from that one to the next. So yeah, you're right. I'll go back and give it a second chance now that you explained it, guys.
Yeah, but our whole goal was to get, honestly, I wanted the religious right to get really mad and protest it and burn them. So that was, controversy sells. So I definitely purposely had made some of the titles,
something to talk about,
agitate people.
Yeah.
And because I knew in general, some, you know, when we see things we don't like, now our defense mechanism comes up and then we don't listen. We may hear it, but we don't
Okay,
listen.
my bad. I'll take
You know
it. I
what? No,
didn't
no, no,
listen.
no worries. No worries, B. I'm just giving you a hard
I didn't listen.
time.
Now, with that being said, you have collaborated with so many, or you featured so many on your projects. What was the kind of overall, or is there an overall? Do you have to break it down project by project in terms of who you featured, or what were your thoughts just in, those folks that you've added to your albums?
I try to make it organic. I just really, I I'm aging. We're all aging. If you're not aging, that just means you're already dead. But I can recall, one or two instances where I was around somebody who showed me nothing but love, who I was a big fan of, that kind of gave me an olive branch, and and for example, Big Pun, just being with Pun, and I'm
Oh,
young,
rest in peace, Bud.
yeah, rest in
Yes.
peace, Pun, and and him offering like, yo, Raz, we gotta do something one of these days. I'm like,
Oh,
and
did you
and
get
then
to
I didn't
work
take
with
it.
him?
No, because I was,
No,
first of all, I
okay.
was too shy, and it was too surreal, and I'm just like, damn, man, he's so cool, man, and I'm a fan. I'm buying this man's records, and now this man is saying that I'm talented enough. He saw me.
Right.
He saw my talent, and wasn't doing the status thing. He was doing the rap thing. He's saying, you rap like me, you dope, and I believe in you. And I wasn't proactive, but then you
Oh,
think
that's so
people
dope.
are gonna live forever, and then they don't. And
Yeah,
so for me, part
rest in
of
peace,
why I
Pun.
do these features now is because I want to, for myself, with these people, to take advantage of these opportunities to create something awesome. If I'm what if I pass? But especially if they pass, my friend Proof, who was Eminem's best friend, I'm glad we were able to do a couple of songs. That was my guy. That was my homeboy. So it kind of documents for me, like, yo, that was my guy, man. We was rapping, and this is what we talking about in this day, and and the stuff we were talking about, and it's the time capsules for me. It's like taking that picture, and
Right.
so I do it for that reason. I'm a big fan of Master Ace. I've always been acquainted with him, but I wanted to document that and I didn't know if he would say yes or no. He didn't owe me anything. So when I reached out and asked him,
So
he's such a
cool.
lovely man, and
Yeah.
an MC. I'm a big fan, and he blessed me, and we made something that was really awesome. High Tech did the beat, and just really grateful for those things. Those are my time capsules, because one day, I'm not going to be here, and one day he's not going to be here. One day, so that'll be what we have that lives on, and maybe our grandkids get to hear, like, oh, Dad, did you know so and so? Yeah, because
Right.
look, what here
Legacy.
he
Yes.
did. Grandpa knew him. Look, they had this thing together. Yeah, so that's why I do them, but they have to be organic. I don't, I don't. I my first album, I basically only had one feature. Nowadays, I'm enjoying the collaborative efforts, but I may probably soon, I feel myself going back into where I'm just going to make my art, and I probably want to do a lot of collaborations with other artists for a while. God willing, I'm live long enough to go through that phase again. It's kind of weird because I'm working on a project as an executive producer, so it has lots of artists. That's the whole goal, is to have as many
Okay.
important voices as possible, whether it's a singer or just a commentator or a professor or or whatever.
Right.
That record is fully that, and then I'm working on this other project where I really don't want. I just think I want to just. It's a concept record, but I think I kind of just don't want anybody, and maybe it should just be personal. It just depends
Wow.
on the record and the vibe.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I do want to. I like to reach out to people that I'm a fan of. I definitely.
Kanye?
I worked with Kanye back day. I worked with Kanye when I was working on after Van Gogh, Golden Child. So I have a Kanye record that my A&R, Mark Brown, is hiding somewhere, Keister Bunny. I don't have a copy of it anymore. I lost all the tapes, but he has everything. But I, at this point, which is cool. I'd love to just have it, dump it, let the world hear.
Yes, I was going to say, I think we might need that. I think we need to find that. We need to call somebody, and get that.
I just said his name, Mark Brown. His name is Mark Breezy on the Instagram.
That. Thank you.
Yeah, actually, we'll do a campaign. Tell Mark
We're
Breezy.
We're going to do a campaign. Tag me, and we'll make it happen. We need the Kanye uncut. Thank you.
Yeah, I do have a Kanye record.
And we need that, yes. So you can get
when he was Kanye. I don't know the new guy.
I know. That's what I say too. I like Kanye. I know we got Ye, but I like Kanye for sure.
Right.
You did the Golden Child project. A shout out to DJ Premier because that was a fan favorite with that particular project. And it's funny because Golden Child was different for me. I think I had just come out of Barmageddon after that, so I was just like, I was just kind of like, okay. But I saw that it was a very popular. It was a very popular track. So yeah, I'm not discrediting it at all. Shout out to
DJ wow, Premier. You fronted on the premiere?
No. I just was in a mode. I was just in a vibe after that. So I was just like, okay, I heard it. Yes. No, I didn't front on it. No, don't have him after me. But
yeah, you don't want Primo disappointed.
No. But I did like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, shouts to him, and that was something I, as a West Coast lyricist, as a lyricist, period, we all, it's kind of one of those stripes to say like, yo, I bodied a DJ Premier record,
Yeah, and they said that in some of the articles that I've read that the fans were waiting on that because they had kind of figured out what you were known for outside of your thought conscious or thought provoking type of messages. You had gone into that space, so with that coming out with the kind of New York fusion, just really put that whole thing back in perspective. So yeah, that was a good one, a good move, a good
he blessed me.
Plan. Yeah, he blessed you with that. Absolutely. So where can people find your and we also have to talk about now you have something that is kind of NFT, but it's also figures. You have the Horseman HRSMN. Is that what it stands for?
Got it. Yeah.
I got it. Yay.
You did it.
I did my homework. So you have a collection, and that is yourself, Corrupt, Cannabis, and I'm missing one.
Killer Priest from out of Wu-Tang's camp.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I am so sorry, Killer Priest. Please
no worries. No worries.
Please forgive me. But yes, we have the collection, and that collection. Tell us about how that came about.
Well, the Horsemen have been a group. We were kind of the first hip hop super group. So 2000 ish is when we formulated. So we Voltroned in 2000. And
Voltron. Okay.
Yeah, we Voltroned up, and just for one reason or another, we could never complete our projects, and we get bootlegged. Something would happen. So we never got it done. And then, obviously everybody's separate artists with their own careers, and they have their own cliques. So Cannabis was down with the Fugees and Lauryn Hill. So at that particular time, he had his agenda, and, Corrupt, Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg. Snoop say we going on the road for a year, he's out, and I would too. And then, Killer Priest, he's always out with Ghostface, or he's with Jizza. He's always gone with them. So scheduling, do the external factors, we can never get it done. Mm-hmm. And then our brothers did it, years later, around 2005, our I would say again, if we were in the 11th grade, then our brothers who were in the 10th grade, being not really Joe Buttons. Joe Buttons even came out around the same time. He would be in our age factor, but not age factor, grade, just when you actually come out with a record. But
Right.
Joe, they did Slaughterhouse. So Buttons, Royce 5'9", Joel Ortiz, Crooked Eye. And it was our
Same thing.
idea. But, you know, just because you have a good idea don't mean you own it. You know what I mean? And so our brothers went and executed it and killed it. And Slaughterhouse went on I think they did their first album independent. It worked out so well that Interscope, Eminem signed it, and then they put out 2 more albums, and then from there they did whatever they needed to do.
Wow. Okay.
But the brilliance of it was, you know, that they did it. They executed it and kept it together. It's really hard being in groups because of the extra manager and the egos and all those things, the conflicting times and all that. And so I was very, you know, really thanks, but no thanks to COVID. I had downtime and I was working on some other stuff at the time, but in my hard drive, there was this folder that said Horseman. And at some point I decided to look through it, and I looked at all this incomplete material. And I just decided for myself therapeutically to finish what we started. So 20 years later, we finally
you got the project.
Put the project together.
Yes.
I got with my man. Yeah, thank you. My man Gifted Glitch, who's an incredible artist. He did the art, the cover, and everything, and all the NFTs, skateboards. We have all kind of we have skate decks. He did the videos. They're all animated, these characters, and so now we're moving into the whole NFT part of it. Eventually, the goal being with the album came out, we did well too. Whatever we charted, we charted on it. I forgot number 4, and in Billboard for for a couple of weeks.
Okay.
So it's a beautiful thing. We'll be touring probably because I think everybody's over COVID. It's just the world is over it. So I think we'll be.
The world is over. We just haven't gotten rid of it.
But the year in Europe, they're marching in everywhere. They're just sick of it, sick of being locked down. So it may just kind of you're gonna be forced. What they call it, herd immunity or whatever they call it. It's gonna be forced herd immunity. Motherfuckers is just not trying to sit in the house no more.
We're not staying no more.
They're not. They're
you all can go. It's fine.
Well, I love travel, so I'm gonna do what it takes. I got to get out and go see the world, man. Life's too short, but long story short, we're doing that now. So the album's out. It's called The Last Ride, and it's been an awesome journey. Just it took us, I call it our debut finale album. It took us, took us 22 years or 21 years to come out with a debut album. So it took 20 years in the making. We got it out. And now we're going to have the NFTs. The goal would be to have, even, figures, collectible figures, the toys. I'd love to have all of it. So what we're working towards. We're working towards it.
That's it. And please tell everyone where they can find it. You all have a website and then your social media as well.
Yeah, for the Horseman, things, you can go to
Horseman.com or something like that.
I think it's we switched it recently. Okay. I would say this: if you go to my Instagram, on my profile, I have a link, a campsite link that clicks into all kinds of things, and so the Horseman link is on that. Okay. I think it's the top one. So you can just go to my Instagram at RAS_KASS, and when you click the profile, it goes to my campsite, and then you can click to the Horseman directly. So sorry for all the extra work, but I just don't know the new site
Well, then
offhand.
they can follow you while they're there. So that worked out fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we have spent a full hour with Ras Kass. I am so thankful that we were able to share this conversation with you all, Raz. We do wish you all the much success. We will continue to follow your projects, continue to wish you well with what you have going on, support what you're doing. And of course, we're going to keep in touch because we're headed for the billionaires, right? The
Yeah.
Billionaires Club. We're going there.
I,
So we
I
will
want
stay in touch.
5 million liquid, but
So whatever, however you want to have it, NFT, whatever you want to put it in, that's fine. But at the end of the day, that's where we're headed.
you want the billions? Okay,
We're going there. Absolutely.
let's do
Yes,
it.
Virgo power. Or you a Libra, but it's okay. We'll give you the honorary.
Libra.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have had Ras Kass with us. Thank you so much for joining us. Hang with us just a minute. We'll take you out.